Come on, phone, ring, ring, ring. Listen, I ain't gonna have a whole lot of time to talk to you first thing this morning. Miss Lucinda got rushed off to the emergency room here just a little bit ago. Rodney was goofing around with my 20-year-old West Melbourne Vitamix, you know, my immersion blender held together with duct tape. Anyway, he was goofing around. It hit something hard, and that duct tape gave loose, and it flew into pieces and caught Miss Lucinda right above the left eye. So I'm just waiting to hear from him. And hang on a minute, that's him. Hey, buddy, how's Miss Lucinda? She gonna be okay? Oh, son, that's good news. That's good news. So what are we gonna have to do going forward? She's gonna have to wear an eye patch for 6 weeks. Well, I suppose it's worse that can happen. 6 weeks, you're gonna have to wear an eye patch. Well, anyway, so you're gonna bring. What's that? Oh, she said to tell y'all she was gonna go as Merida for Halloween this year. She's changed it to Captain Jack. Anyway. Leave it to Miss Lucinda to find a silver lining. Anyway, all right, well, I'll see you guys here in a bit, and I'll go ahead and get started on the recipe. What's that? I'm making a nice fall soup. Butternut with spices, and it's going to have all the fall spices in it. It's going to be delicious, and y'all stick around. I'll show you how. Hey, listen, y'all get home now, okay? Before we go any further, I'd like to remind you guys, please don't forget to mash that subscribe button, give me a big old thumbs up, maybe even leave me a comment or two. I sure would appreciate it. Whew, that's good news. Miss Lucinda's going to be all right. So here's what we're going to do for the recipe this week. I'm going to make a nice, creamy butternut soup with fall-type spices. So you're going to have cardamom in it, you're going to have cinnamon, you're going to have garlic. Oh, just all the best stuff. So let's go ahead and get after it, and here is what you're going to need. For this year recipe, you're going to need a good-sized butternut squash, cleaned and cubed. You're going to need some ground cinnamon, some cardamom pods, some ground coriander, some granulated ginger, about 4 cloves of garlic, a can of coconut cream, a quart of chicken stock, a little tiny bit of chili powder, a diced onion, and a little salt to taste. We're going to start this recipe with 3 tablespoons of olive oil over a medium heat. And to that, we're going to start adding our spices, starting with 4 cloves of minced garlic, and then about 10 cardamom pods, a tablespoon each of ground ginger, coriander powder, and cinnamon. Now this next little bit you can do whatever it is you like, but I like a little bit of heat, so I'm adding 1/8 of a teaspoon of red chili powder. Then we're going to saute those spices to release all that wonderful flavor. Next we'll add in our minced onion. We're going to saute these until they become translucent. But first, let's stir them around and make sure they get covered in all of that spice. When they start to get just a little bit on the cooked side, we're going to add in about 1/8 of a cup of that chicken stock. And we'll let it simmer as it continues to cook the onions and the spices until it resembles sort of a paste or a slurry. Then I'm going to put in about 1/2 a teaspoon of salt. And keep this stirring. Make sure you don't let anything scorch on the bottom of that pan. Once the onions become translucent and look about like this, we're going to add in the rest of that quart of chicken stock. Now we're going to get it back up to a boil, stirring all the time. When we get close to that boil, we're going to add in our butternut. But we're going to save back about 1 cup of that butternut so that we can add it at the end of the cook.
Once it gets up to a boil, we're going to back it off and let it cook for about 10 minutes. Covered, of course. After 10 minutes, let's check a piece and see if it's fork tender, and it sure is. That means it's time to blend. Hey, there's my new immersion blender. So let's blend it until it's really smooth. Say, that reminds me, if y'all are looking for a way to support this channel, keep this here train rolling full of farm fresh content twice a week, why don't you slide over to my Teespring shop, get yourself a coffee mug or maybe even a t-shirt. But if you don't want to do that, how about you go to buymeacoffee.com, and for the price of a cup of coffee, you help keep this train a-rolling. You can also visit boondockerswelcome.com. All of the links are in the description. Thanks a bunch. Once it's smooth to where we want it to be, we're going to add our can of coconut cream. Then we'll taste it a couple of times to make sure we got the salt level just right. I wound up adding about another half a teaspoon of salt for a total of 1 teaspoon. Then we're going to add in the little bit of butternut that I saved to the side. The only thing left to do now is taste it. Oh, I almost forgot. We got to put a little bacon on top of that. You want to know why? Because bacon makes everything better.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. It is done. D-U-N, done. I want you to look at that deliciousness, and I guess the only thing we got left to do is give it a try. So here it goes. Let's get a little bacon on there. Bacon makes everything better. I beg your pardon, I never promised you a rose garden. Ladies and gentlemen, that right there is hardly fit to eat, but I'm going to keep going until I find a good spot. Let me tell you something. You make that for your family around the campfire, get your little cup and a spoon and get after it. Hardly fit to eat. Y'all are going to love it. Well, that's going to be about it for this episode of Eating Good in the Woods. Listen, y'all go on out there and be nice to one another. I sure love you, and God bless you guys. Bye-bye.